What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Tour Junkies podcast for the CJ Cup 2022 at Congaree Golf Club in Ridgeland, South Carolina. I'm DB. I got Pat Perry with me. Another week back in the saddle, fresh off that dub, baby. Another
dub
winner. That would be now. Let's see. Keegan Bradley was 37-1 when we did the show. Well, when I talked him up on the First Look show on first thing Monday morning. Then we came on the podcast. Pat, you and I both loved Keegan, which is that's kind of rare. Like both of us don't normally love Keegan, but both of us love Keegan. We talked about him outright. We talked about him in DraftKings. We mentioned him in the top 10 as a top 10 bet at plus 250. And then I put him on my betting card. So wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Keegan Bradley has won another golf tournament since 2018. It was great to see. Although I didn't see it. I didn't even see it. I just saw it on Twitter because I was asleep. But got it done over Ricky, who, the week before, his boobies had brushed against you. Last week, you kind of, I don't know.
Those enticing boobies, those Ricky boobies.
Yeah, you were enticed, but you didn't get there. You didn't get there all the way. You didn't round third coming home, But it was a fun tournament, the Zozo to track and to watch there in Japan. But now we're back. We're back, and we're not far from you, Pat, at Congaree Golf Club.
Yeah, just 30, 45 minutes up the road.
Yeah, coming off the victory with Keegan. I feel good. It feels good to get the first one out of the way, the new season. Because, like, the DB's Big Balls betting card, you just wipe the slate clean, keeping track of how many outrights you've hit this year. You just wipe the slate clean. And, when you don't hit one, we're not going to hit the Fortinet because we don't bet the shortest golfer in the field in Max Homa. Okay. Then we kind of, we mailed it in on one tournament. I don't remember which one because of Golby's Cup. Then the Shriners, we didn't hit one. So, it's my third betting card article of the year, and it feels good to get it done. So I'm now up 25 units, and that's our first winner. And I feel like more are coming. I'm excited about it, Pat. And that's actually two winners in a row for the Monday morning First Impressions show. Because I also had Tom Kim 28-1 the previous week for the Shriners, but he couldn't make it on the betting card because he shortened up by then. So if you're not paying attention, I don't know. I know it's football. Everybody's excited. It's football. Hopefully I can hit a anytime TD for plus 240 on some guy that I've never heard of. Meanwhile, you're not paying attention to the golf. That's a problem. That's a problem. So, yeah. But we're here to help people. We're going to have a great show tonight. We've got a new segment potentially coming down tonight. But as always, we are brought to you by our friends at Fantasy National. FantasyNational.com/TJ is where you got to go to get the goods. It's everything you need. It's a simulator. It's got one of those. You can make a model. I got a model that I made today. You can look at recent form, course history, everything you can imagine for betting on golf or playing fantasy golf. If you don't have Fantasy National, you are behind. I can tell you that. If you're starting out playing, you need the tools. These are the tools that you need. So FantasyNational.com/TJ is how you get 20% off. Promo code Tour Junkies. Tell them the Tour Junkies sent you. That's how you get it done. We've been working with Fantasy National for years now, and now we are learning that they're working on some new stuff. They're gonna improve the site some more. They're gonna start reinvesting in the site, all this kind of stuff. It's going to be good. Fantasy National is making moves. I am pumped about it. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like if you don't mind. Hit the like button, subscribe on the YouTube channel, and drop a comment too. This is what I want you to drop in the comments. Okay, your biggest prop lock for Thursday night football. Okay, I don't even know if those are out right now or not. They probably are, but whenever they're out, give me a prop lock for Thursday night football, because I want to maybe start pairing those with some shorter, maybe a top 10 bet on a guy here for the CJ Cup or something like that. A good prop lock. Drop that in the comment. Also, shout out to Listener League winner John Sayer, won the Nut Hut Listener League, punching his ticket to the finals for a chance to win a trip of a lifetime to either Savannah or Augusta to play some golf, spend a weekend with me and Pat. Good stuff there. Pat, other than that, how you feeling, bud? What's the podcast juice tonight?
Yeah, I feel good. Just a little beer tonight. I forgot to. This is a Dos Equis, actually. I was aiming for a little bit better beer, like maybe a South Carolina.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like a Palmetto beer or something because
Yeah.
we're in South Carolina. But I forgot to get anything, so
Oh.
I had to go with whatever I had in the refrigerator.
I like a little Dos Equis. Is that the amber or the lager?
This is the lager.
Okay.
I'm a
Yeah.
fan of the lager.
Yeah, I
Little
like it.
lime in there. Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's a good call. I got a little gin and ginger, actually. A little gin and ginger.
Do you
I've
use
been into
real
gin
ginger?
Schweppes.
Yeah, but I mean, is it like 0 sugar or actually you
No,
throw
it's
some
the
you get
full
the
thing.
sugar kind?
It's the full thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't drink a lot of ginger ale, so when I do, it's just the real stuff. But I've been on a gin kick lately.
I can't do gin.
It's weird.
I don't know what it is. There's a weird aftertaste to gin. Unless maybe I just haven't had the good ones. I don't know.
I only buy the aviation stuff from Ryan Reynolds because he's got like a 9-pack, and I think he's hilarious, and I want to be him. So for some reason, I feel like if I just drink his gin, it'll make me, I don't know, it'll make me closer. I'll be closer, that much closer to being Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. Well,
So
he seems like a good dude though,
he
right?
does seem like a good dude, funny guy. Pat, let's get into this. We got DFS, we got outright picks, we got top 10 bets. I got some questions I'm going to throw out there tonight that you,
Are
me,
they tough questions?
people are going to
Like,
have to
should I
answer.
have studied for them?
No, I think they are tough questions. No, I mean, I want to get your real response.
Okay.
Um,
Did you do a course breakdown
I
video?
did. I did do a
Okay.
course breakdown. I did it on the, but I did the beginning of the first look show only again because like Congaree, we only have 1 year of history here. It
Yeah.
was last year. It was the tournament that shall not be named, that was played in June in the summer. Garrick Higo won it, and with 1 year worth of data, and you can tell me, wasn't it pretty soggy and wet and
Yes, it
out
was
there?
wet. One of the things that they wanted last year was this course to play firm and fast, which is how it's designed.
Because you were there
Um,
for media. That was the
yeah,
week you were there media. Mhm.
yeah, I was there. I was credentialed.
Yeah.
I asked a few questions.
Yeah, great
Kiz
question.
even said, he was like, "What's up, P?"
Well,
Like,
and
during the
we got retweeted by Portnoy and Big Cat over
yeah, because I asked
the
about, Koepka, who backed out of that matchup, by the way, I mean, I'm just saying. Um, but yeah, so they wanted to play, real dry, firm, and fast, but we had gotten some rain lead. You can't control that, obviously, leading up to the tournament. But this week, I think they have a chance to get
Yeah,
to actually play it the way they want to, because
agreed.
we had outside of the hurricane, which is 3 weeks ago. Don't even think about that. It's dry as hell here. I'm telling you. Okay, DB.
Mhm.
I have a garden. I've talked about this before with you,
Yes.
right? I was
Yes.
over there checking on it today, and Miss Jane, Farmer Jane, who runs the garden, she
Okay.
was even talking about how dry it was, and not just how dry on the surface it was. She was telling me like how dry it was underneath the surface, like the first layer. There's like a first layer of dry, and there's a second layer of dry, and so the
Dang.
second layer is also dry. So
You sure old Farmer Jane wasn't talking about something else, that she wanted you to soil up a little, maybe
I
till
don't
up the ground a
I
little
don't know.
bit?
She was dressed a little differently. Usually she's wearing like overalls, but today she was wearing a dress. I don't know what that says. But all I'm
Mm,
saying is Farmer Jane is talking about how dry it is. So it's firm and fast this week. Okay. That's
I
what we're
like it.
going with.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a little more course breakdown, sure, check that out. But it does look like the weather is gonna be absolutely perfect, and firm and fast is for sure in play. So,
Yeah.
I'll get into some of this kind of how I'm approaching this when it comes to players and course conditions and all that here in just a minute. We ready?
Yeah. I think we've got a little special guest though, DB.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. I I'm just saying I didn't know this was coming, but I mean they just kind of popped in here. And so
Okay.
I think now we got a special guest that maybe wants to tell us something about this week or
I don't like it when you surprise me. I do the rundown and then but if you don't tell me about it, then how I'm not prepared.
well, yeah, I mean, I'm a busy person. I got work, I do a real job,
Oh, okay.
so I can't always tell you everything that I
You have
know.
a guest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are
I
you wanting
could
to
have
bring
just texted you we had a guest before the show, but I forgot. I was
oh,
doing
thank
stuff.
you for that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring him up. Oh. Oh.
How's it going, Tour Junkies fans? Hey, Pat.
How your episode with Joe Idoni was fantastic. You were great. You did a great job hosting. I just have to start off by saying that. I'm just such a big fan. If you want to be a smart golf better, you should probably stick with guys like me, guys like Pat, maybe Jeff Feinberg. But we know what we're doing. You know, this isn't an ego trip. This isn't some look at this big number that I just crushed and I won. So I can brag about it and tell my friends and maybe cut it up into some sort of TikTok video. It's not about that. It's about us, you working together to make money. And a lot of times when betting on golf, you should bet on favorites. You know why? Because they're the favorites. You know why? Because they're better than everybody else. Look at the CJ Cup. And we may ask ourselves, should I bet
a wanker.
Ben on at 200 to 1? No, you shouldn't. Nor should you listen to anyone who tells you to do that, because that would be foolish. I think the simple answer for the CJ Cup this week is staring right in our faces. And I think some may be tempted to overcomplicate this. It's Rory McIlroy. He's 8-1 on FanDuel currently. He's the best player in the field. Rory's playing exceptional golf at the moment. Do you really trust Troy Merritt to shut one down on Rory McIlroy late on Sunday? No, I don't trust Troy Merritt to do anything, nor should you. So my bet for you this week is simple. It's 8-1 Rory McIlroy. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of the Tour Junkies podcast. I can't wait till Rory hoists the trophy here at the CJ Cup. All right. That's all I got, guys. Out!
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, he seemed like a really smart person to me. I like him. Do we know his name?
No, but he was in my chair, and I don't appreciate that. I guess the glasses kind of hide his identity or whatever, but clearly he's a puss because
have you checked to see
if the top guy on the board?
Have you even checked to see if the Golbees Cup belt is still there? Could he have stolen the belt?
Oh no, it's still here.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, the belt is actually I've actually super glued it to the chair now, so you'd have to have problems.
Great picker though.
Well, is he Pat 8-1? Really? 8-1. Are we feeling that good about Rory at the top of the board? And
I'm just surprised he didn't say Rory McIlroy.
Well, the guy has some sense of pride somewhere. He wants to pronounce one of the best players in the world's name, if not the best player in the world, even though he's not ranked the best player in the world. But I mean, this field is great, man. This is a great field. This is the best field we're going to get until February. And I am excited about it. But it's not, I don't Rory, like what? Rory to close the door out here. I mean, everybody's going to be hitting driver. So, everybody's going to be moving it down there. I don't know. I know he's played well in the fall. He played over on the DP World Tour, but 8-1, like, just give me a break. Why would anybody do that? Do you like Rory 8-1?
No, I don't actually, but
yeah, good. Thank you.
But I thought he was very good, very polished, looks sharp.
Who? Rory?
No, the guy that whoever that guy was that was sitting in your chair.
You just like him because he wore a collared shirt?
I just thought he looked sharp and he looked like he
podcast.
If you're going to come on a podcast and you don't know anybody, at least
you don't know anybody. Was he straight? He was straight off a Chamber of Commerce meeting or something. What?
Well, all right. Well, let's get into the picks.
Top of the board, Rory, Rahm, Scheffler, JT, Fitz, M, Burns, Hovland, Homa, Morikawa. Those are your top players in the 9K range, Pat. Let me tell you who I'm going to fade. You ready for this?
Yes.
I don't know. Because I was trying. But you know what? There's nobody in here that I'm willing to come out and say right now I'm ready to fade without ownership. I will for sure fade some chalk. I'm sure eat some chalk up here. But I tried to find a name. I almost landed on Colin Morikawa. But then I just kept seeing $9,000 Colin Morikawa. And while lately I don't feel like he's been the same Colin Morikawa, if you told me I was going to get 10%, sub 10% Colin Morikawa at $9,000, there's no way I'm passing that up. So I cannot Cannot give a fade in this range today on a Monday night. I just can't.
Well, I mean, what about Hovland?
No.
He's been playing well, but I feel like this course is gonna, kind of
The angle is
force you to
around
have
the
a
green.
little creativity around the greens.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
you're gonna miss some greens out here, even though they're not necessarily. I mean, from walking the course, they're not like the smallest of greens, but the way the slope is and everything else, that worries me a little bit about Victor Hovland. But it was a little bit of a stretch for me to come up with him as my fade, he was my fade.
But I mean, as good as he hits it too, like obviously, the iron play, but played well last week at the Zozo.
Mhm.
T5 there. I get that he has the warts. I mean, Colin Morikawa's chipping isn't great either, but just the premier iron play, and if these guys are low owned, I just can't see myself fading them. But good for you. I just couldn't get to it. I could not get to a fade. I think. I mean, in a vacuum, ownership not mattering whatsoever, but still looking at price. My favorite plays in this range are Homa, Fitzpatrick, and Rory. I really, really like the price break you get on Max Homa, who basically does almost everything extremely well. Every key category. I even loaded up sand saves and put it at like a 4% weight in my model, just because I do. You walk the course. I mean, there's no rough. It's either you're either in the short grass or you're in a bunker or a waste area, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
there's literally no rough on this golf
There's
course.
130 acres of sand or waste area on this
Yeah.
golf course. So I mean, I think that's worth looking at. But I mean, he's great at that. The only thing he's not great at that I loaded in the model was around the green on Bermuda. He's very good around the green in general. He's not that great on Bermuda. But I mean, again, that's weighted kind of low. And his iron play, his off the tee play, his bogey avoidance, his DraftKings point scoring ability, everything else is incredible. This is probably I feel like this probably is the last time we see him before the baby comes. I think early November is the date
I
there.
think he even tweeted out that he said that this is the last tournament he's going to
Oh, he
play
did?
before
Okay.
baby. Yeah.
So, I
So
mean, I love Homa. I love the value on Fitz as well at 9,800. Fitz he's played on the European Tour here the last couple of weeks. T2 in Italy, T22 at the Alfred Dunhill. I think he missed the cut in this last event. I can't remember where it was, the one Otegwe one. But I don't care. Fitz everything that I want in this golf course. So I love that for 9,800. And, while I'm not going to bet Rory at 8-1 like that schmuck, 11-1 still gives me plenty of room. I mean, I played around like just making some dummy lineups. Like you can play Rory and Rahm in a lineup and still get some guys down at the bottom. You can play Rory a 9K and an 8K. You can play Rory and 2 9Ks. You can do whatever you want. And I think a lot of people are going to go to Rory, considering his form as well. Since we last saw him on the PGA Tour, he's finished runner-up at the BMW PGA. He's finished T4 in Italy, T4 at the Dunhill. Like Rory just continues to be incredible. So those are my three favorites. I do think Rory and Homa are probably going to be pretty chalky out of those three. What do you think?
Well, as a matter of fact, when I was looking at chalk, I thought Homa would probably be chalky, but I do like chalky a lot. I mean, I do like chalky. I like chalky. I like Homa a lot. I like Rory as well, but so Homa was one of my three here that I looked at. And then I also like John Rahm. You mentioned him a second ago, just pairing him up with Rory if you wanted to, and then going down to the bottom. I think Rahm is interesting to me because I wonder where the ownership is going to fall for him. We haven't really seen him much, since the tour season ended.
He won the Espana Open, but he beat nobody, but he won the Espana Open.
But still, so I think Rahm could be interesting from an ownership standpoint. So I like him. I like Sung J M. I think Sung J is going to have some ownership though.
I do too. I wrote him down too. I wrote Rory, Rahm, M, and Homa as the four possible chalk plays. But if you're watching live, who do you think is going to be the chalk in this range? Tell us. But yeah, you like Sung Jae. Obviously playing really well.
I like Sungjae, I like Rom, and then the other one that I liked was Homa, and then my fade was Hovland.
Mm,
But it was a tough kind of fade to come to, like, bring myself to do.
yeah,
Like, I'm kinda like you. I like Fitzy a lot. As a matter of fact, if I'm looking in bets in here, like, if we just look at the 9K range and some of the bets I like, I like JT at 16 to 1. I don't know if I'll play him in DFS, but that 16 to 1 number for a guy of his caliber seems pretty good. I like M at 26 to 1. I like Fitzy at 24 to 1.
mhm,
I
yeah,
think those are three really good bets in this range. By the way, Fitzpatrick was like the only decent names that was in the top 10 when they played at Congaree last year. So at
yeah.
least you had him. I guess maybe DJ was up there. He was close. He was like 8 or 9 under or something like that. But
Um, yeah. By the way, speaking of comparing this place to last year, right? I don't really think that it makes a lot of sense to do that. First of all, last year was, and I know you. That's not necessarily what you're trying to do, but
no, it's not. I'm
I
just
just want to make sure we talk about this because like last year was in June, different time of year, totally different time of year. Bermuda grass is different. Everything's different. It was like you already mentioned. It was wet. It was soft. The golf course was playing extremely long, um, and they didn't have those firm, fast runouts. And uh, plus, it was a full field event. It was a weak field. So like I don't really wanna take a whole lot into consideration in terms of who played here, who played well, who didn't. Like, I'm not getting really caught up in that. I don't think listeners should either. I don't think it should be a big deal. This is a totally different ball game, and I do think that we are for sure going to, see this thing play firm and fast, which I think is good for some variance. I think that actually opens it up to a lot of different types of players, of course, plus you have 50-yard wide fairways. These are the third widest fairways on tour record since 2015. The only two wider are the Old Course and Trinity Forest are the only two golf courses with wider average fairways in this place. So yeah, there's plenty of room out there. Everybody's going to hit driver, but even the shorter hitters, there's going to be plenty of run out. So the course does look intimidating. There's a lot of long holes, a lot of big numbers. The scorecard can tip out at 7,600 yards, but it doesn't mean it's going to play that. It's going to play that way. We'll definitely get some more insight from some friends on the ground, like we did last week in the Nut Hut. We'll share that. But Pat, my two bets in this category: Fitzpatrick for sure, 24 to 1. I wrote that one down. I love it. And then Max Homa at 31 to 1 on FanDuel. Those are the only two up here that I really got pumped up about. Um, so that's it for me. And again, I think Rory, Rom, Sung Jae, and Homa are your chalk. Probably Fitz works in there as well. I think somebody asked a question a second ago. Who was it? Let's pull it up. Jackie Paper fading all the 10K. Now, listen, that's usually that's a strategy we talk about often. In fact, a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, it would have worked for you. I think it's a little scary to do here. I think it's scary to do on a course that is gonna. This is gonna be kind of a mid difficulty track. I think. I mean, I think
mhm.
now Garrick Higo won at 11 under. I could actually see the winning score being better than that, even though it's firm and fast. I could see it being a little better because the strength of field is so much better. The top end of this
Yeah,
of this
this
field is so
field is so much better than it was last time. There were so many players that did not
yeah,
that skipped this last year. If you recall, the reason this was on the schedule and why they did it was because it was COVID reasons. Canada wasn't having a turn, so the Canadian Open basically just didn't happen in 2021, and so they played it at Congaree. They just kind of it was a filler event. A lot of people skipped it. So yeah, I think you're right, especially on the field strength.
AC says no mention of world number one. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, Scotty is definitely in play. I mean, that's what I'm saying when I'm talking about how I cannot name a fade in here. I can't. If I have a low owned Scotty, I'm jumping on that. Trust, like just trust it. I will be doing that. I guess the one thing that is the negative tick on Scotty is that we've only seen him play the President's Cup since the Tour Championship. Same thing with Justin Thomas. Same thing with, I believe, a couple names we'll get to in the next range. I'm trying to remember who I'm talking about here. So I think, that's probably the only thing you're looking at. But no, man, I think anybody in this range is in play. I truly do. So I did want to ask you this question, Pat. I want to play a quick little name game here. Colin Morikawa. It feels like Morikawa is in an interesting spot. And I think if you pay attention to even the best golfers in the world, if you look closely enough, you see these like ebbs and flows in their game, right? It's just kind of it's somewhat cyclical, and they can struggle for a little bit. And now I'm saying struggle in uh in terms of a Colin Morikawa struggle is not the same as a Peter Malnati struggle. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
there's that difference. But when you go back and you look at like how good Morikawa played from, January of 2021 to July of 2021, where he won the WGC Mexico and he won the Open and he finished 4th at the US Open and he finished 8th at the PGA and he just went on this sick run. And you look at where he's at now, he looks like he's not the same. He's not the same right now. He is ranked number 9 in the world. My question for you is this: going forward, and this is a question for you to type in the chat right now. Better PGA Tour season from now on through August, going forward, who would you take if you had to take one right now out of Colin Morikawa and Matt Fitzpatrick?
I think I'd probably take Morikawa.
Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland.
Hovland.
Hovland ranked 11 in the world. Sam Burns, Colin Morikawa.
Morikawa.
Jordan Spieth, Colin Morikawa.
Spieth.
Ooh, Spieth ranked 13. Tony Finau, Colin Morikawa.
Morikawa.
I take Finau on that. 2 more. Tom Kim, Colin Morikawa.
Morikawa.
Cam Young, Colin Morikawa.
Morikawa.
So you are much more bullish than I on Colin Morikawa. I definitely think that like the guy's a stud. He's going to be fine. I'm not saying that. I would take Fitzy over him. I would take Finau over him, and those two for sure.
I don't know how you could take Cam Young over him.
Cam Young, close. I'm really close.
I get his year that he's had, but he has actually not been great.
Yeah.
The last several tournaments, and he's still not proven enough for me to take him over a Morikawa.
Very interesting.
Has Cam Young even won yet?
No, he had 4 runner-ups, 5 runner-ups. Yeah,
I get it, but it's not a win.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying who's had the best career so far. I'm just saying, like, line in the sand, everything starts over right now. Who you taking until August, till the Tour Championship, through the Tour Championship?
Yeah, that's the way I took it. What you were saying.
All right, interesting. All right. Before we move on to the 8K range, got to thank our friends at Front 9 Coffee. If you're not getting your coffee from Front 9, do it. Support the Tour Junkies. Support a local small business in Augusta, Georgia. The people at Front 9 Coffee are amazing. They're friendly. They make the coffee fresh when you order it. So you're not buying gassy, bagged up, sitting there on the shelf, getting stale coffee, okay? It's freshly roasted. When you go online, you're going to pick. Do you want it ground up already? Do you want it whole bean? How do you want it? Do you want it lightly roasted, medium, dark? What flavors do you want? You can customize it. Then once you order it, then they're going to roast it so it's fresh. Good things take time, y'all. They take time. Then they're going to deliver it to your door anywhere in the U.S. within just a couple business days. It's that easy. Front 9 Coffee. Support the Tour Junkies. Support a small local business in Augusta, Georgia. Go to Front 9. That's the number 9, coffee.com. Use promo code TJ10 for 10% off your entire order. 10% off your entire order, or you can also take a look there. They've got their own flavors, but we've got our flavors. And DB's flavor is the best selling so far, and I love that. I continue to be the best seller. Pat's flavor, the espresso Milano.
Y'all need to be buying my flavor. It's so much better.
It's not doing as good as mine, though.
It doesn't have that hazelnut crap in there. It's just a good dark roast coffee. That's all it is.
Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, let's move on to the 8K range P. And let's talk. I like some names in here. You got Tom Kim, Spieth, Hideki, Cam Young, Hatton, Keegan, Shane Lowry, Taylor Montgomery, Sahith Theegala, and Billy Ho and Corey Connors. Okay. I think that, first off, I'll tell you my fade. I like this guy. I'm very bullish, as we all should be, on his season this upcoming year, for sure. He is showing a lot of promise very quickly. However, I think this is a gross misprice in a field this strong. Taylor Montgomery at $8,200 is the fade for me, and I know that he's been in the 9K range for a couple of tournaments already this year. That's because obviously the strength of field, and he's dropped, yes, at 8,200, but there are names in here that I think just have a better pedigree, longer track record, especially in against tough competition on tougher scoring, not birdie fests. That I think he should be priced below, and there's not a lot, but a handful of them. So I just don't think it's a great price. We've only seen him in those high scoring putting contests, birdie contest. Okay. He's lost 2.1 strokes on approach in his first 3 events on the PGA Tour. And that's usually not a recipe for success. And it's not going to be a recipe for success out here. The thing that he's done is he's gained over 22 strokes putting in 3 events. Can you spell regression at some point? Is it going to be this week? I don't know, but I would probably dare say it could be. I mean, he gained 11 strokes at the Fortinet, and then over 5 at the Sanderson and the Shriners. Lost 5 strokes on approach at the Shriners. So he's not like world beaters on the ball striking department. And for the price and for what we don't know about Taylor Montgomery, what we haven't seen about Taylor Montgomery is how he plays in tougher fields and on slightly more, difficult golf courses. So I think he is the misprice at 8,200 in this range. There's no way he should be $100 cheaper than a Shane Lowry. I don't think he should be more expensive than Billy Horschel. I would argue possibly even Corey Connors, just with the track record and what we know of some of these guys. So I'm out on Taylor Montgomery. Who's your fade? Tell me your fade. Let's talk fades first.
Mine's a little different there. I looked at Taylor Montgomery, but I just it's hard for me. Like, I like the fact that he's played so much leading up to this event, and he's obviously played well. I mean, he's finished top 15 in every tournament he's played. I actually have a guy we just talked about. Cam Young is my fade. I'm starting to sour a little bit on Cam Young. Now, look, I get it. He's been fantastic this year. I wonder though if he'll get a little too much ownership based off of just what he's done, in the majors and whatever else. I mean, if you just look at the stats for him, across the board he's pretty good. But the last few tournaments that he played leading up to, we'll go to the Zozo. He played the Zozo, and he was 53rd. Not great. But before that, before the Tour Championship, he was losing strokes putting, and he was losing strokes around the green, and he was losing strokes on the approach. So I think his game may just be a little bit like, I don't know, maybe he worked on those things in the off season, quote unquote. But I think Cam Young, he's just one I'm a little bit scared of in this range, and so I'm not going to play him. And I kind of hope a lot of people do, and he has some ownership, and then he completely fails, which is
well. I do think he's going to be. So I wrote down 3 names as potential chalk in this range. I see it as Tom Kim, Cam Young, and Shane Lowry. I mean, Cam is a very intoxicating player with what he does off the tee. It feels like he has the ability to go like Rory level off the tee. I mean, he really does, genuinely does, just off the tee. And so it's enticing. And I was a little bearish on him last week, just saying like, hey, this is his first event since the Tour Championship outside of the President's Cup. This could be kind of one of those knock the rust off, let me get in a stroke play tournament event that just feels different than what match play does. And he didn't play that well. He didn't. But he's just got so much firepower that I think that's enticing. I would rather bet him outright because I'm confident he's going to be chalky. I'd rather eat some chalk in the 9K, 10K range, but I am confident he's going to be chalky. I think this morning on the First Impression show, he was around 30 or 35 to 1. I think he's at 29 to 1 now on FanDuel. But
yeah, I don't see him anywhere over 29 to 1.
Okay. He was
Either way,
35 this
I would
morning.
say if for me, I could see maybe a bet on him, but I don't. I don't want to play him in DFS this week. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I can get down with that just from the chalk side of it. If I'm gonna eat some chalk in this range, I'm gonna take Shane Lowry.
That's the one I was about to say. That's who I eat the chalk
You're on it?
on. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think this is this sets
it's
up
a
to
great
be
course for him.
a very good course, gives him plenty of width in the fairways off the tee. It gives him, I mean, the irons were incredible last year. He's a wonderful
Yeah,
player around the greens. He just won the BMW PGA Championship over in Europe after, I guess his playoff run was over after the BMW here of Stateside where he finished 12th. Um, but won the BMW PGA, missed the cut at the Alfred Dunhill, but doesn't matter. I mean, that tournament can be a little weird at times with 3 different courses. Conditions are wild. I think this is a great spot for Shane. I do think he will be a little popular just because of the price at 8,300, and he's going to check everybody's stat box. He's going to pop in the models.
yeah.
So I think he will be a little popular, but who knows if people will actually cram him in there when they're trying to force Cam Young in and they still want some Tom Kim in there. Who actually knows? But I love the bet too on Lowry at 33-1
Yep.
on BetMGM. So it looks like we got agreement on Lowry. I wonder if we have agreement on this last guy. This guy is I'm going to call it as an early pivot. And I think he'll be a pivot because he's just not a guy that people like playing. Even if they talk about him, they don't actually usually end up clicking the button to the rate that he gets talked about. And it's Billy Horschel at 8K. Do you like Billy Ho this week? You're
I
going
don't
with
have
Billy
him
Ho
written
guy.
down
You don't?
but I don't mind him. I mean,
Um, I think this place sets up quite nicely for Billy Ho. Just finished 10th at the Alfred Dunhill, 9th at the BMW PGA in Europe. And Billy Ho, I mean, checks a ton of boxes if you look at it, from just off the tee, putting, around the green play, scoring DraftKings points, avoiding bogeys, sand saves. He's top 20 in the field long term. I mean, he's overall he's 15th in my entire model as the 8K, as the 8K guy. So I like Horschel a lot, and I actually think there will be not a lot of talk about him. So that's it.
who did you have up top? I didn't.
You mean in the 9K range?
No, 8K.
I mean, Lowry and Horschel. I like Lowry and Horschel a lot. I mean, I like Tom Kim too, but
I
I
didn't.
think
Okay,
this
I
one's
was.
been
Oh, you just
chalky.
gave. Yeah, we did just say 2.
But
Sorry.
I also think I am very intrigued to see what happens with Jordan Spieth. Like
Thief was mine that I was about to mention.
I'm very interested in
Yeah.
Spieth. Yeah.
I think I don't know. I want to see where that ownership is on
I don't
Spieth.
want to bet him to win. Like, I don't want to bet Jordan to win,
No,
but
I don't like that. You know who I like as a bet is Terrell Hatton
no,
at 40-1.
outright.
Yeah, he finished like second here last time
Yeah,
he
but
played. And I get it. I know I get it. It's different conditions and all that kind of stuff, but I still think this could be a good course for him. Could bet Hatton to win.
Oh, my boy Steven, Team DB guy. Steven says, "Give me all the Spieth. Wide fairways, great around the green game." Yeah, I mean, I like it. I
Yeah.
don't know. Do we think that Spieth, comes out first event since the playoffs and President's Cup and wins, given his longer term form? Meh, I don't know. That's why I say I'd prefer him in DFS, or if I don't know. But
Let
I
me
am interested to see where he comes in terms of ownership.
Okay, one more from a betting standpoint.
Yeah, I like it.
Because I think the odds are, well, there's some value here because of where he is in the 8K range versus where his odds are. Corey Connors is 65-1. Is it going to be the scrambling and the putting that would take you away from betting on him, or would you obviously he's just an excellent ball striker.
I think for me, it's like, I don't know that Corey's ready to win again. It doesn't feel like he's ready to win again. I talked about this a little bit on the first look show.
65-1.
I know, but it doesn't matter if we don't think he's ready to win again. Like, I talked about this a little bit on the betting show in regards to Keegan, so you could make the same argument for Corey. It's like Keegan he gets made fun of a little bit. Like sometimes you can get shamed out of betting a guy, and I'm not trying to do that to you now, but sometimes I feel like you can get shamed out of betting certain guys that get the stigma that they're not going to win ever, or they're not going to win again, right? It would when before he went to live is like Cam Tringali, right? Never going to win, or Keegan not going to win again, Ricky not going to win again, and these guys that you start to lean on, and then you get shamed on Twitter or in the comments to bet these guys because it's impossible. But when you see guys that have like runner-up finishes or T3s or all these close finishes, the margin is this small. I mean, it's tiny. One little thing goes differently, and it's a win for that guy. And then nobody's making fun of him anymore, and it hits, and you're there. And obviously that could happen for Coco, but I don't feel like he's as close. Before Keegan won last week, who would you say has felt closer to victory, or is even snatched defeat from the grips of victory in a couple of tournaments more, Keegan or Corey? You would have definitely said Keegan. He had it at the Players. There was some other event he did.
Yeah, Keegan's.
Whereas Corey, when's the last time we saw Corey in a final group? We've seen Corey have some top 5 finishes, top 6 finishes. But it feels like, I could be wrong, it just feels like they've all been kind of backdoor, just, oh, I didn't know Corey Connors did that. Like, I don't remember the last time I've seen him in the last group.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I'm just saying, like, when you look at odds in this, if we're just kind of going by range here, this 8K range versus, everybody else, he is by far, like, I mean, I think you get like a Lowry's at 33 to 1. I don't know what Taylor Montgomery is. What is he? I'll tell you.
I don't care. Didn't look. I don't care. What's the price?
Taylor
40,
Montgomery's
45?
50 to 1. And then Coco is so Connors is 65 to 1. There's a big difference there. By the way,
I think that's silly. If I had to pick one of these guys, if we were gonna run a simulation 1,000 times, and I'm picking one of these guys to win more, I'm picking Corey Connors, because this is a big boy field. Like, Taylor Montgomery's about to be in big boy world and put his big boy pants on.
Yeah.
And like, at least Corey's been there, done that, and I mean, hell, at least at the Masters, he's not seemingly scared of it. But yeah, I think that's misprep. But that's what I'm saying about Taylor Montgomery. I think his price is messed up all the way around.
Okay, how about this? Transitioning to 7K.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's a guy that is snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Emiliano Grillo has been absolutely amazing lately. And I feel like he is on the cusp of winning. And I do like him in DFS at 7,900. And I don't mind him at 70 to 1 either. But he's an interesting person, or interesting player, I think, to talk about.
I love Grillo.
Yeah.
I don't love him this week.
Oh.
I don't love him playing his 4th event in a row. Stateside, fly to Japan, play that 4th event in a row, flying back here. I don't love that. I feel like at some point he's going to start feeling it, That's the only thing. The same thing for Seabez in this range. Seabez is playing his 4th. Andrew Putnam playing his 4th. Let's see. Taylor Moore's in this range, playing his 4th. Wyndham Clark, I don't know if he's in this range of the 6K. Those guys all playing their 4th event in a row, coming over from the Zozo. That worries me a little bit. Not much. I mean, I like Grillo. I'm with you. I love Grillo, but I would be more against, like, I mean, the guys playing their 4th, yes. Also, Maverick McNeely, like, way too much dependence on the putter.
I'm so tired of Maverick McNeely.
I know, like,
where he pissed me off? I literally, so they like, all right, let's go to Prize Picks. All right, still playing a lot of Prize Picks. Love Prize Picks. They had
I hit on the Tuesday email. The people unsubscribe to the heavy petting email every Tuesday. I get like 4 unsubscribes. I don't even understand it. It's free content. If you're not betting on golf this week, just delete the damn thing. But I'm giving you, that's 2 weeks in a row we've been at least positive on the Prize Picks free play that I give you for round 1. 2 weeks in a row, just free money right there to your inbox for free. And you just 4 people unsubscribe. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, well, I mean, McNeely's
going
against
McNeely.
Not as good as it used to be.
McNeely was he was going against Xander like on every single day, and they changed him up. And I went against him on the birdie or
The
better
birdie better
matchups.
matchup? Yeah.
Yeah, every time he effing beat me,
Yeah.
and I went against him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough scene. All right, I wanna get through these ranges quickly because I got some other things I wanna talk through with you. Chalk. I think chalk is gonna be Mito because people love Mito. He was 17% last week. Cam Davis, he was 15% last week. Kurt Kitayama for the price. I think it'll be interesting to see what people do with him. He was 14%. And my favorite play in this entire range, but I don't care, is Aaron Wise. I love Aaron Wise on a course where you can rip driver and around the green play matters. Give me all the Aaron Wise. Love him at 50-1. Pounded that this morning on the First Look show. All in on Aaron Wise at 50-1. Also, if we get confirmation from our friends on the ground, this place is playing firm and fast, and that the shorter hitters will be just fine, and they're not going to have this huge demand in terms of long irons, right? They're going to have some, yes, but like not like, you know what I mean. If we get all that, then two names I have my eye on are Brian Harmon and Tom Hoagie again. Tom Hoagie at 70-1, Harmon not necessarily to win, but just DFS. Both of them in DFS. We'll see how it looks. I think that's going to be interesting. Like with the variance that we saw at this golf course last time, and I know, different conditions, different field. If it is truly firm and fast and you're playing a bunch of lineups, like consider building some skill-based lineups. Build a bombers lineup. Build a, short knocking, never miss a fairway, precision type, Brian Harmon, Kisner, Hoagie lineup, right? Consider matching up some of those skill sets. I think that could be a thing if we do get those firm and fast conditions. I'm interested in those guys. S.H. Kim down at the bottom. I've been beating that drum all year so far. Love him. JT Poston, this is kind of a home-ish track for him. He's quite familiar with this place. He's at 80-1 as well. There's a good number of names here in the 7K range, Pat. Anything else for you? And I want to play another game with you.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of agreement here. I have Brian Harmon, DFS at 7,700 and betting at 75-1. I like it, like both of those. I was with you on the Hoagie. I don't have him in DFS, but I like the call there on the bet at 70-1. I think if you're, looking at a guy who has just, I could see just winning here for God knows what reason, but only other than the fact that he has come close lately, and that's Scott Stallings. He's at 90-1.
Yep.
I think Stallings is interesting to me. And then I had S.H. Kim as well in DFS at 7,100. I'm with you there. My fade was Noren. I just, I kind of have this feel for Noren.
Yeah.
Like I talk about him normally at the beginning of the year, and then as the year progresses, Noren just like disappoints me more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And so now we're like, here we are coming down to the end of the year. You don't play Noren. This is just not the time to play Noren. So he's my fade. But yeah, other than that, I'm with you.
God bless my man Chris Carnahan. Love the heavy petting email. Never get rid of it. Love the big balls betting card. Been heating the house with those gems. That's what I'm talking about, Chris. Thanks, dog. Love that. All right, Pat, here's the game. And for those of you listening at home, drop this in the comment. Here's another question I posed to you. I'm going to give you 6 players. Okay. 6 players. And I want you to tell me which player, if you had to pick one, you would fade 100% for the rest of the season through the Tour Championship.
6 players, I have to choose one to never. I never get to play.
You can't play him in DFS. You can't bet him in any capacity. You're a full-on wipe my hands of you. I am done with you until the Tour Championship. This is fun. Put this in the comments. Who do you think? Cam Davis, Mito Pereira, Tom Hoagie, Aaron Wise, Siwoo Kim, or Emiliano Grillo? Cam Davis, Mito Pereira, Tom Hoagie, Aaron Wise, Siwoo Kim, or Emiliano Grillo? Ugh, AC. Got to be freaking kidding me.
I would say Mito.
AC says Aaron Wise.
I could wash my hands of Mito and be completely fine. I could lay my hands Her
Oh, this
head
guy,
on the
Michael, you're gonna
pillow.
get kicked out of the podcast.
You
You
can't
cannot,
do
you
Kim.
can't say
You can't.
Siwoo Kim. I put him in there as a trap to see which of you people would say that, and it was you, Michael.
Look at all the Siwoos coming in. There's like 3 of them.
Oh, Steven Shannon, what are we doing? Steven, your Team DB guy. AK says Alan or says Mito. Tyler Hunt says Mito. Pat. Oh, I think I'm gonna say, oh God. I think I'm gonna say Mito. I
Yeah.
think it's Mito. And now it's not because you have to. I'm come to that decision based on it's not on pure talent because I think Mito is definitely a pure talent above a couple of these
Yeah.
guys. But people love him in DFS. Even if they sometimes the hearts in their eyes just blind them from some of the facts or some of the truth or some of the what's actually happening in the real world. And so he's over owned often. So if I'm going to fade a player, I would like him to at least be over owned a lot of the time. That way, I'm either lapping the field or I'm not. And his odds are going to be shorter than a lot of these guys for most of the year, I would argue. Maybe the shortest. The next closest one to me was possibly Grillo, but I at least I know with Grillo, I probably will get suppressed ownership, low ownership, or average ownership a lot of the time, and his odds are gonna slowly climb if they climb at all.
Mhm.
That's the only way I could come to that agreement or that decision.
Hey, AC, come on. That's
Mito, what does he say? Mito finishes the season with more DK points than all the guys on that list.
that's just
We'll take that to the Nut Hut, AC. Let's take that to the Nut Hut.
yeah.
We'll do a bet. Look at Dylan. Look at Dylan dropping $10 in the super chat. Join the Nut Hut. Now's the perfect time. The Hut NFL chat is killing it. Let's go Team Pat for life. Dylan,
I
even though,
love Dylan.
even though they said the Team Pat thing, you are right, man. The people that are missing out on the Nut Hut NFL season are they're screwing
It's
themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot. It's killing it over there. The community is having a great time sweating NFL games together, doing the NFL thing
I
together.
get a ton of showdown. I like now. I've
Now,
cut back.
Showdown all around has been killing it in the Nut Hut lately.
Yeah, I cut back a lot of what I do on the DFS from an NFL standpoint because I just feel like I'm not good at it. But I like the showdowns and just having one game. Maybe it's
Yeah,
my OCD or whatever.
yeah.
Like I need to have like just focus on one game, and I don't need all these different players I got to deal with. But yeah, the showdown stuff's great in the Nut Hut. I mean that'll pay for your year right
Yep.
there. I paid for my year last night. Last night I would have paid
Oh,
for a year in the Nut Hut
there you
with
go.
what I won.
AK says, "Join the Nut Hut and embrace the TJ gospel." That is true, man. I mean, the community is popping in there. You got to get in there. It's $10 a month, $90 a year. There's a link in the description of the podcast or YouTube video. We're making friends in there, and everybody's having a good time. It's just as active, I mean, not quite as active as it is like from April to through July, but it's pretty active. We'd love to have you in there. You can cancel at any time. Give it a shot.
I feel like there's
Uh,
a lot of people chasing squirrels in there right now. Like,
a lot of people chasing squirrels.
yeah, there's like a lot of squirrels darting around, and people are just running around doing stuff. Like,
Yeah, well, yeah, there's so many channels and chats in there. Everybody's
yeah,
getting,
without they can't focus on like golf in particular, so there's just a lot
yeah.
of stuff going on.
And we're making a ton of improvements to it too. We're testing a lot of things. We're making a lot of improvements to the Discord server every single week. Thank you to Easy McDeezy Emmett in there doing his thing. We couldn't do it without him. We appreciate him so much. He's a loyal TJ follower and supporter, and he spends a lot of time unpaid for us because he loves the community, which is incredible. So a lot of good stuff going on in the Nut Hut. You got to get in it. I don't know what you're doing. Tyler said just joined. Good shit is what he says. Love
Thank
that,
you,
Tyler.
Tyler.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
We appreciate you. And Tyler's already bringing some stuff to the table too. Chris Carnahan, Nut Hut is where it's at. See? All right, let's get to the 6K range. And I got another little thing I'm going to have you do here in a second. I want you to see if you can
Okay.
figure out a player I'm talking about. 6K range. There's a few guys in here I'm very interested in. Way down at the bottom. I know you're on this. Let's say it together on the count. We'll say 1, 2,
Oh wait,
3, and say the name. Okay.
hang on.
Near the
There's
bottom.
two. There's two.
Okay, near the bottom, we'll say, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, name, okay?
Okay,
We'll say it at the
ready?
same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Danny
Danny
Willett.
Willett. Yeah! Danny
Yeah.
Willett.
Danny
Yes,
Willett.
Danny Willett just finished runner-up in whatever that event was. I don't know, like, I mean, what are we doing? It's a no-cut event, runner-up at the Fortinet. He's got a great short game. You're insane if you don't use Danny Willett in a couple of GPP lineups to save you a lot of cash. Like, do it. Do it.
Do it.
Byung-Hun On, 60, was he 65? Money. Like, and the stats aren't gonna show a whole lot, but he's always been a great player around the green. He's always been a great iron player. He's always had plenty of pop in the bat. He's added more. He's added 6 miles an hour club head speed is what he told us on the interview that we just had with him that'll drop very soon. It was amazing.
Great interview. Yeah.
Great interview. Pat was on it
I was
too.
finally on one.
Byung-Hun An at 65, love that. I'm gonna give you a sneaky one at 64 that I don't even remember the last time I played this guy. Caveat though, only if we get the firm and fast am I playing Brendan Todd. But I'm considering playing Brendan Todd. Love the short game, putter, round the green play, bunker play. I think this could be an interesting spot for Brendan Todd.
Okay.
If we get firm and fast. I have one more name, but I'm gonna let you go first. And then we'll go from there.
Well, I like Trey Mullinax. I mean, we've looked at him lately. He's obviously
Yeah.
been playing well to end the season. Last year, if you look at the stats though for him, I mean, he's top 25 in approach off the tee, top 15 in greens and regulation. He's just a great ball striker. Putting's definitely one of the things he doesn't necessarily do great on Bermuda, but I do like Trey Mullinax. Who else did I look at here? I mean, I think that's it.
Okay. I'm gonna read you off some stats. And you tell me who it is. Okay?
Okay.
He's in the 6K range. Since he's been on tour, he has only lost distance gained 12% of his tournaments. In other words, 88% of his tournaments, he's gaining distance on the field. He's only lost fairways gained in about 35%. So, a third of the time, he's not hitting enough fairways. But overall, incredible total driver. 8 top 15 finishes last season with 3 top 5s. He putts best on Bermuda. He's a Southern boy. And 6 times since he's been on tour, 6 times, he has followed a T50 or worse, all the way to a miscut, with a top 20 in his very next start.
I have 2 in mind here.
Okay.
My first would be Davis Riley.
Ding, 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 ding. Davis Riley.
Yes.
He's 67 at the Zozo last week. But, dude, this guy has way too much game.
I was about to mention him, too.
6,900 in a no-cut event.
100 to 1, by the way.
100 to 1. Way too much game to be ignored in tournaments, to me, in DFS. Way too much game. So, I mean, the thing that struck me was that, I mean, he's only been on tour. He was a rookie last year. He ain't been on tour very much. I think I counted like 36 events or whatever he's played since the fall of last year. But 6 different times following a T50 or worse with a top 20 in his next start. So he's not a guy that necessarily we always see like the game coming, right? He doesn't go from like a miscut to a T40 and then a T21 and then a win. It doesn't or a T3. But he just kind of finds it or he doesn't, which is a great GPP play. But he's got a lot of firepower. 8 top 15 finishes last season and 3 top 5s. We saw him lose in the playoff to Sam Burns. I believe that was at the Valspar. So, I mean, the guy's got a lot of games. 6,900 in this field saves you a lot. I like him. I like Davis Riley a lot.
Yeah, I wrote him down as a bet at 100 to 1.
Yeah.
Mullinax, by the way, is 180 to 1. Another one, if you want to get really frustrated and just waste some money, but he has won on tour. He's a Southern guy from Greenville, South Carolina. Do you know what I'm talking about? That can't putt?
From Greenville. No.
Lucas Glover.
Oh, God, yes.
It's 400 to 1. 400 to 1.
I mean, dude, Danny Willett's 300. Danny Willett 300 to 1. Ben On's 200 to 1. You know, I feel like we have to talk about, like, Kevin Kisner's 175 to 1 on MGM. Doesn't Kiz love this place? He's, like, very familiar with this place.
Yeah, he's a member there or whatever they call him.
An ambassador. He's an ambassador.
I think even then, I don't know if he plays it enough, but
No.
I think it could still be a good course for him.
Yeah.
He just, hits his driver out there. He knows it well. I walked like 4 or 5 holes with him when I was there, and he likes the course a lot. So I mean that's a huge thing for Kiz. If he hates the course,
he's
not going to play well.
Yeah. We've got some top 10s here to rattle off. We did those. We crushed those last week. Like I said, we had Keegan at plus 250, had Matt Naismith at plus 450. And those two hit. That was good to see. Don't forget in the YouTube comments, biggest prop lock for Thursday Night Football. Hit that, give it to us, and we'll try to combine that with something else. All right, some bomb top 10s. I just mentioned 2 guys. Danny Willett at 16 to 1 on DraftKings for a top 10. Danny Willett at 16. That's good. That's a good top 10 number. Okay, he choked it away at the Fortinet to Max Homa, or we're talking about a guy who won. Remember, what did he do on the last hole? Didn't he miss like the 4-footer or 3-footer or something? Or no, he 3-putted from like 4 feet.
He 3-putted from
If that doesn't happen, that's what I'm talking about. Like the margins are pube hair thin out here. He's 16 to 1 to top 10 in a 78-man field event. He almost won the Fortinet, a full field event. Now it was a weak field, but who cares? That's a great value. You bet that number. I know that's like the longest top 10 number available, and it sounds stupid. That's a smart bet. That's a better bet than you parlaying 4 NFL games on Sunday. You got a better chance of hitting the Danny Willett number. Who else? JT Poston's 5 to 1. I didn't talk about Keith Mitchell. I kind of like Mitchell. I don't know. He's going to be either in the hunt, top 10, or win, or he's going to be dead last. But he's plus 450 to top 10. I kind of like that. Billy Ho, I like that a lot. Plus 330. Aaron Wise, plus 330. Tom Kim, plus 250. Fitz at plus 160. And Home at plus 150. Those are my favorite top 10s.
Okay. A couple that I'll add into here. I'll start on the shorter end a little bit for some top 10s. I actually like your boy Andrew Putnam at plus 400.
If I'd have missed the Putnam win last week, I'd have been in mourning. I'd have been in all black today.
Yeah, that would have been. I like Hoagie. At plus 450.
Yeah.
Another couple that I like, Scott Stallings. I mentioned him as an outright, but also plus 500 for a top 10. I really like that one. Another couple that I will give you here. Where was SH Kim?
SH. Comment on SH.
SH.
That's SA. I always think of SA, the essays from Friday After Next. No, next Friday. Which one was it? Friday. Was it Friday After Next or next Friday? The essays were in there. I always think of that when I say SH.
Oh, here he is. He's plus 800. Love that for SH Kim. Last one I gave you, Trey Mullinax, plus 900. So there you go.
You love some Mullinax, man. Whenever we saw,
remember when we went to the Players Championship?
I was gonna say you brought that up a month or two ago, and then did you guys sneak out of the house and like peep through his window or something, or did you guys make eye contact or something?
I think we made eye contact.
Had some weird like peeping Tom Trey.
We made eye contact. I mean, he didn't show me his boobies or anything. He didn't brush against me like Ricky does. but something happened, and I just have a thing for Mullinax. So
that was strange, dude. Yeah. Strange. All right. Listen, thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to followers. Thank you to the Nut Hut members, our loyal supporters. We appreciate you so much. Thank you to everyone who gives us props for what we do. We appreciate that. You can leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. That'd be great. Thank you to whatever that douchebag special guest was that came in for Pat.
Mm,
Um,
seemed
let's have
like
a
a
great
great
week this
individual.
week. May your screens be green. And bend over your bookie. See ya.